Listen up, people, because I'm probably going to scare the shit out of myself telling you these stories. But first, thanks for coming back to hang with us, the Kemp brothers, here at the Welcome Distraction.
This is the Welcome Distraction Podcast with the Kemp brothers. Their immature stories, thoughts, and opinions are their own and should be taken with the same level of seriousness as a drunk uncle's late-night conspiracy theory. They are not responsible for any brain cells lost, friendships ruined, or questionable life choices made under their influence. Now buckle up, buttercups.
We at the Welcome Distraction like to be just that, a welcome distraction to your day, an escape, if you will, a way to just zone out, listen to us for a bit, think about random stuff with us. You may do that many times on your own when you're out and about, on scenic drives, maybe camping or hiking, or even in the comfort of your own home. Well, what happens when just hanging out in your own home becomes an unwelcome distraction? I'm Brett.
I'm Chris. I'm Nick.
And if you hadn't guessed it yet, or didn't read the title of the latest episode, we're going to be talking about some personal experiences about what some like to call supernatural, or most just might call it some scary ghost shit. So, I'll begin with my first interaction. It's more of a recent story in the last few years, but I came home from a weekend of being gone from the house with the fam, pulled up to the house. There was a little bit of some storm, some wildness in the air, but it was the middle of the day still. I think we had just gotten back, checked out. We had the camper with us, and we were deciding we needed to get on back and get to the house, so we did just that. The winds were swirling a little bit, and as we pulled up to the house, we went in there. As we came in the house, our hallway is just halfway in the top floor as we came in. But we have a little recessed attic door, one of those ones that looks like it's built in part of the ceiling kind of thing. Okay, but it's not a functioning attic door. It's just an access door. It's like if you need to go up there, run some cable, some wire, some electrical stuff. You've been up there before, Nicholas.
There's no
living
Like at that
space
point,
in
did you even know that you could go up there? Because I remember when we went up there, we were like, we don't know what's on the other side of this.
Yeah, I think
before
this
that or
was,
after that?
This was after that. So I knew you could go up there, but I also knew that there was no reason to go up there. It was just an access point. So it had the little square frame around it, and then the rest of the door, if you will, because it was just a piece of ceiling drywall that you kind of just pushed up in the into the attic. But it does not come off easy, and that's why I remember, because when me and you went up there and we did that fan in the living room, we ran that. It was like you had to pound on it with each side of your fist. Not easily, not like, oh, let's work this
You
up
broke
a
it
little bit.
loose.
You had to really pound it.
It was like
Yeah,
a
no,
supernatural force was keeping it shut.
It was a good 4 or 5 inches where you had to just
Yeah.
pound it up and get it up there.
It was more than I was expecting.
Yeah. So anyway, when we come home and I look down the hallway towards where the bedrooms and stuff are in the bathroom upstairs, I can see through the hallway lights that are in between it. That door is up, open, and completely accessible.
Oh,
I can see into the darkness. The door is up and in there. It's like hanging over the side, but it's not like halfway up or thing. It's like up there.
So the door was pushed up and moved in?
Pushed up and moved in. So immediately I'm like, somebody's in this fucking house, So I go get the handgun that we have, and I'm like, kids, you go back out. I'm going to clear this house now, and I'm going to go through every, nook and cranny here and make sure. I went through room by room, starting with the top, going down into the basement. And it's a finished basement stuff, so it's more house. And I went room by room, kind of having to put the fear behind me because
Were you yelling,
of
clear?
shit. Yeah, clear, no shit in here. And then each time you clear it, you're like happy that there's nothing in here. And oh god, okay, where's the next one? And I got some storage closets and the furnace room and shit like that.
So after you checked it all,
Yeah.
nothing?
So there was nothing. This door was open, and the best I could rationalize in my brain was that it had something to do with this kind of quick moving microburst of a storm that came through. The wind in Utah is absolutely crazy, and some of these storms come out of nowhere. But we've lived here for a few years at this point, and nothing like this has ever happened where, I'm thinking, well, it must be the barometric pressure of the wind that came through
Figured it out,
just
buddy.
pushed into the attic, and then it causes vacuum, and it pulled the attic door up, and, because I got to sleep in this house, and I got to figure
just
out
go with
somehow, some
ghosts.
way. So I had no idea how or why, but it scared the ever-living shit out of me. There's no good, comfortable reason why it was open. The wife and the kids, like I'm telling them later, like, hey,
Sleep with one eye
nothing to
open
worry
at
about
night.
here. It's good. Don't worry about it. I was just, Dad had a feeling he wanted to check all the house.
You sleep with your gun on the pillow? No, I think you got a frog in your house. You know, the pH kind. You guys ever heard of that?
Frog?
Frog.
I've
Frog?
heard of this phenomenon. Do tell.
Phenomenon.
Frogging with the pH.
The hell's
That's where you got somebody living in your house and you don't know it. So they might be listening right now.
You sitting there thinking right now, or she? I don't know. Maybe I got
He's
a
like,
Frogger.
Man,
Could be girl.
this
They're
guy's
like, hey,
you guys talking about me again?
almost got caught that weekend. They went camping.
He's like, I'm right.
Apparently
He's
it's
like,
a
right
thing,
now,
though.
he's hiding out. He's like, I just want to say something so bad.
He's in
I think
between
there's
the
a
levels
movie
of the attic.
about it.
Living
like
in
that.
the walls.
I See You or something like that. I think it's about that, this phenomenon. People living in their houses, don't even know it.
I've come across some crazy stories where people are, there's a rational explanation, but it's still scary as shit that these people either bought a house or moved into a house and somehow, some way, somebody got access to their crawl space.
like the
or
old
attic
owner is
space.
still in
They've built a recessed wall or something, so you can't see it. So they go up in the attic, and you don't know. I know my daughter. She was the one that actually told me about. We got a Frogger, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" It's PHROG. I was like, "What? Frog? Yeah, it's when somebody lives in your house and you don't know about it." I was like, "Oh
Ugh.
my god!"
I heard of a real life story actually just 2 days ago. It was back in 2022. A lady, her husband went to work. She was gone for the day. He phoned her, said he'd be coming home early, and then she came home. He was gone. His car was there still, and then he went missing. Everything was there, and he went missing. Police came, searched the house, looked everywhere possibly could. It was a 2-story house, whatnot. Months went by, and then they couldn't find him. They presumed that he left and never came back. Then there was a foul odor in the house, but she had 4 dogs and 3 cats. So they came back. The plumber said
Cats
it was
got 'em.
actually, they said the plumber actually said it was a gas line. He fixed that plus the odor of the cats and dogs and all that. Said it was good to go. And then she went to get decorations for Christmas. It had been 8 months at this point, and so I guess they had a stairwell, and in the second story they had to go down, and she was digging around trying to get some decorations, Christmas decorations, and her flashlight was flashing around, something the cops had missed before. And there he was. He had hung himself under the stairwell and was in a mummified state. And nobody had seen him for 8 months.
He had hung himself.
He hung himself. It was suicide. He'd been there for 8 months, mummified, but because the smell was so bad at first, he had now no longer smelled or whatnot. So she didn't have a Frogger. It was her own husband. Man, how scary.
A dead frog.
I'm like, yeah. You just hear you guys. You
Yeah.
think she was complaining about it too? Like, oh my gosh, this is just like him.
And she talked
I'm
about
looking
it's
everywhere,
Christmas, and I
and
miss
he's just
you.
hanging out. He's not doing anything. So it's just like before. You
Thinking up
never
a
know
place.
who's here.
She wrote an open-ended letter, and she said, "It's Christmas time, and I miss you so much. I wish you were here. It's just the holidays are a lot
He
less."
was there the whole time.
So that holidays are a lot less magic without you around. And just before Christmas, she found there was definitely no magic left.
That's like in
sad story,
Gremlins.
but man, could you
She
imagine
wrote
ever
that letter
living there?
almost too late.
That
That's
house is
like in
possessed
Gremlins. Remember that?
Yeah, a house is possessed forever.
Do you remember in the original Gremlins? Remember, I think it was Phoebe Cates, her character, the girlfriend, Billy's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She is telling a story about how I think it's like they don't really like Christmas
Yeah,
time,
you're right.
and it's because
That's right.
Dad left and disappeared around Christmas time and never came back.
Mhm.
But then I think it was like the following year or something. Though it got cold and we lit a fire, and there was Dad to smell. He had dressed up like Santa and broke his neck trying to come down the chimney. And God,
Man. Yeah. So
Holy
that's a real
shit, I
life
forgot
scary
about that.
story for sure. I wouldn't live in that house no more. Hell no.
because he's still there. Yeah. So I've got a few stories here, and they're not all from this house, but a handful of them are. So I may not be by myself right now as I'm telling you these stories. Even saying them out loud kind of feels like I'm conjuring, if you will, that I'm accepting this and saying it out loud. So I think some people would agree with me that if you have these thoughts or you're scared or you have these experiences, you usually don't talk about them, especially kind of in a dark or scary situation, because
Hell
you're like,
no.
I'll tell you later.
Freak
Because that
yourself
makes
out.
it real. It does creep yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have that feeling that you're either not alone or that you're like, no, I'm tough, manly man, whatever, I'm girly girl. once you let that feeling creep all the way in, instead, like if you're downstairs or you're going into, I gotta use it, whatever, and you decide, oh shit, I'm scared. And once you fully give into it, you're like, gotta get out of here, run away. Yeah. And then you can't get away fast enough. So I'll tell you a couple more little stories that, when we first moved into this house, and it was about 5, 6 years ago now, our girls were younger, not toddler age or anything, old enough that they don't need mom and dad. But it's, hey, bedtime, go do your thing, go to sleep. I'd say we had teenager and preteen at the time, and we were sound asleep the middle of the night. So there's no reason for us to hear, baby crying or anything like that, because the girls are older, they're independent, they get up, do their own thing, get up for
Not
school,
babies.
that kind of shit. So one night in the middle of the night, I'd say it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and we both heard, me and the wife both heard, "Mommy," and we're like, oh, gosh, Lily must be sick or something. So we just get up. Without saying anything to each other, we both roll over out of bed, get up, get out of bed, and walk to her room to find that she is completely dead asleep. Not like just rolled over and maybe said something like mouth open, hanging asleep. It's like she is out cold. And I'm like, why did you come in here? And
Remind
she's
me
like,
not to
I
visit your
heard
place
her yell
anymore.
for me.
Yeah, I
And
won't
I
be coming back to
said,
your house.
and I said, I heard her too. And we're both like, what the and we have absolutely no explanation.
Did you go back to sleep?
It took a long time. I think we slept like absolute shit. We kept thinking about it. And then,
Take shifts.
you just keep on. All these stories have the same common theme where you try to rationalize what this could be, what it should be. It's got to be a good explanation for that. It's not something, and I'm not a ghost person. I'm not one of those that believes in those kind of things. But when these little interactions happen, you start to think. I'm not a religious person, so I don't,
Your place is haunted, man.
yeah. So, and then in that same vein, one time her sister was visiting, and this was the middle of the day, sun shining and stuff. We're all there. Her dad's even there. The house is full, and she is down the hall, and she comes back, and she comes and catches us in our room, and she's like, "Hey, what, where are the girls? I keep hearing somebody yelling for me." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Nobody's back here. The girls are outside." And she's like, "Somebody keeps saying, yelling for her. They're on Katie, on Katie." And like, what? Like, no, the girls aren't here. And she's like, are you kidding me? What do you, nah, stop messing with me. I'm like,
Tripping balls, man.
dude, I wish there was an explanation.
Snozberries
Something.
taste like snozberries.
Yeah, so that happened. That's happened probably like 3 times where you've heard a voice or a yell, something, and you're just like, what the f- is that?
You're at a time where you're sleeping and you feel like somebody's like hovering over you.
Oh my
And
God.
You can't
that's
open your
happened to me
eyes and you
few
feel
times, too.
paralyzed and you can't
Jesus
move.
Christ, it's gonna happen
Mhm.
tonight.
So many times.
So
But
many
a couple
times.
A couple times. Like more than once I've had it happen where
Yeah,
I
think
had
you
that
live on
feeling
like an
and I couldn't
Indian
move.
burial ground.
And then I finally got my eyes open and my damn kid was hovering over me, scared the shit out of me. I'm like, oh, what are you doing in here?
You ever had that?
And your kids sleepwalk, right? So
They
was she
sleepwalk.
sleepwalking?
So I haven't really had any ghost experience here, but I have three little ghouls roaming around at night.
I mean,
that, like,
girl.
freak me out. So I've had 2 out of 3 that not only sleepwalk, but they take it to the next level where they're like literally trying to escape the house.
In their sleep.
Yes.
So in
And
this
they're the ones
instance
scaring
where they
other
were-
people, chasing them in the streets.
It's where they were standing over you. Was it a sleepwalking incident?
Yes.
Oh
They
my
do not
God, that's
remember
even
it.
worse. Because then
Yeah,
it's like they're possessed.
Gotta put them down.
What?
Basically what it was. Like they're just like kind of like lost and they're just in there and they're just standing there. And it's like, what is wrong with you?
Why do you have a
Are you
baseball
serious
bat?
right now? One time, the
yeah.
little one, I got woken up to the alarm going off on the house, and I go out there and I've got my gun, and the light is on to the hallway. I see the hallway light is on. The hallway light leads out to the side door, and so I peek around. There's my youngest standing there with the door wide open, looking out. Outside is like
She had
midnight.
opened the door. She had opened the door into the night.
Door was open. That's what set off the alarm. She's just standing
It's
there
like
crying,
poltergeist shit.
looking outside. I'm freaking out. Like I go and
She's
grab
like,
her and
"Take
I
me."
look outside quickly. I close the door, I lock it, and
my God.
she's still like out of it. So I have to take her in the bathroom and cold water and wake her up. And she still doesn't remember it. Doesn't remember any of it.
Oh my God.
Maybe there's ghosts in here that are like possessing the kids. I don't know.
I didn't know if she'd actually gotten the door open, was standing there staring into the abyss, waiting for somebody to take her.
Oh man,
Scary.
So we'll talk movies here in a few, so stick around. We'll talk about some scary movies because that reminds me of possession, demons, maybe a little exorcist kind of situation. Just saying, just
Yeah, I
saying.
don't watch a lot of those.
Might have 3 little Linda Blairs, if you will. I had another story, and this is pretty
Man.
recent. Okay, Yep,
Last
my house
night.
is haunted. This is another one where me and the wife we've had a couple different interactions, and it's almost like you want to tell the other one so they can share in it with you, but you're also like brace yourself because I know you're going to be scared about this, and you're going to be dealing with this later, just like I am. And if I have to deal with it, you have to deal with it. This was just a couple weeks ago. She was working from home. We have a little office downstairs, and she was working from home. And we had a downstairs bathroom right in the middle. It's a bigger bathroom. We usually don't let the dog downstairs. We have a beautiful lab, and she's the most well-behaved dog you could ever ask for. But I don't like to let her just roam around and come downstairs. Downstairs is kind of the dog off limit space. Been relaxing that rule a little bit, So
Yeah.
whatever. So she'd been leaving the door open a little bit, and then but the dog was upstairs, and she had just finished a meeting. She needed to use the restroom, so she went to the restroom, and she was kind of just in there for a couple minutes doing her business or whatever.
Yeah.
The dog is very much a mama's dog and wants to be wherever she is. It's a 90-pound dog. I think she's a lap dog kind of thing. So she wants to be wherever she is. She heard this scrape against the door, and she just knew it was Lainey, the dog. And she was like, I'll be out in a second. Be right there. Calm down, And this is not uncommon for her to be like, So she heard, I think she heard it twice. And she heard not that groaning, but she heard something scrape against the door. Very clear. She had 100% confidence that the dog had just scraped against the door. But when she went out there, of course, there was no dog. Not only was there no dog downstairs, the bottom downstairs door that she would have come and gone, and maybe she could have already done, nope, that door was completely closed. So unless this dog had velociraptored it from Jurassic Park and learned how to open the door and been a clever girl, there was no way. So she was completely freaked out because there was just no way that the dog had done this, and there was no air conditioning on, there was nothing. It was just complete silence, and then this scrape against the door, and she is the only one in the house. Everybody else is at school.
Oh, she's not.
It's your Frogger. So she thought.
You got a dog and a
What are you
frog.
doing here? You're supposed to be in the office, lady. What? I just came out for some chicken and biscuits. Hey, your meeting's still going on. Are they calling for you?
I marked yours away.
Thanks. I moved the mouse so it showed you green.
Yeah, the camera, the other office people are like, you have a coworker there with you? We saw him walk by.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
people
everybody
complaining.
knows. I've got an alarm, so don't come to my house. But we've got an alarm and we've got cameras too. So those are other things that we've never had. I caught some shit on camera. Actually, hold up. I'll probably have to load this up into the video.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, this is another thing. I don't
I'm
think
really not coming back to your house.
Yeah. No.
This
But
is not ghosts.
I don't
This
even
is
want
not
to see it
poltergeist.
because
This is
we
just
had
just watched.
people living in the walls.
Yeah. But we had just watched. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It chapter
You'll
1,
float
2.
too.
Yeah, Georgie. But then they made the HBO miniseries called Welcome to Derry. So we just watched that like a month or two ago at the exact same time. And she showed me, and it says, look at this. Pennywise is in my picture. And she has a picture, and I'll load it up just to remember and show you guys how scary it is. It looks like there's a fucking person in the background, and it's a perfect silhouette when she showed it to me, because I was like, show me this shit that you think looks like a person. Holy shit. I was like, okay, I'm out. Look,
Cue
I'm
the
getting chills
footage.
just thinking about it right now.
This was in your living room?
Yes.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Set it on fire, folks.
I'm out. See you later.
Apparently built this house. There's a lot of Native American land around here too. So this
Right
is some
behind you.
poltergeist plot situation. This was like a swamp. They filled it in. So I mean, who knows what they? I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
some
I'm
haunted shit.
just saying.
Can you send my snowboard equipment back?
Or ask your frog to send it back?
I mean, that's probably enough for one house. So, like I said, I'm not a ghostly believing kind of guy. But when these kind of things keep happening, you start to question some shit.
Yeah, for real.
So I think, Nicholas, you had a story where it freaked you out.
So I think it was probably more along the lines of I I conjured it or I manifested it. We were younger, probably 13, 14. And we were over at a friend's house late. And I think I borrowed one of our dad's tools. And
Gun.
this house was maybe like one street over, 5 or 6 houses up. And I left it there. I remember talking to Dad. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I left it over at his house. I'll go get it tomorrow." And he's like, "No, you're going to go get it right now."
No.
And I'm pretty sure I turned to one of you and was like, "Will you go with me?" And you guys were like,
hell no.
"Nope." And
You're
so
on your own.
I'm like, "Shit." So I had to go. So cut through a couple of yards, get to the other road, and then 4 houses up, and I'm sprinting to get there as fast as I can. And I get the tool, and I start heading back, and I swear to God, I turn around, and there was someone or something behind me, like
It was probably
not
Dad.
far back, maybe like 50 feet behind me. I could hear, I swear, like to this day, I still believe there was something there, like scared the shit out of me. I cut through the yards and back into the back door of the house, and I was just, I remember being terrified. I was like, "Oh my God, there was somebody chasing me. There's something
I
there."
don't think you go by yourself now. Guess we really didn't care back then. Well, I gotta throw in a story then from a house as well. So there I was living in Illinois, right? And we showed up to this house, needing a house to put all our belongings in. We did not have a house pre-rented, leased, or anything. We had moved from Florida. We just needed a house, and this one happened to fit most of, if not all of our belongings perfectly. It was a split level house, true split level house, where you had a basement area, you had a mid level with like living room, kitchen, nook area, and then you had upstairs bedrooms above that. So if you go from the basement, you actually kind of go up 3 levels or 2 levels all the way to the 3rd level. The bottom one was a mostly 90% finished basement. We put some things down there, big screen TV and all that. And then around the corner, the big giant living room area of the basement had 2, I guess, unfinished bedrooms. There was no doors on these, but they tucked around the back of the house.
It's where they kept the bodies.
Yeah. Well, and that was where one of our kids' rooms happened to be. We ran out of, we had 4 kids, or 3 and 4 on one on the way. So we had 4 eventually. So one of our kids was down there and she stayed in the basement area. But the scary, if you will, kind of work yourself into, in the basement area, in the large room, there was a doorway where the air handler and furnace was, right? Because it's cold Illinois, where you can turn on the heat from there. But once you opened that door to where this furnace is, this was the crawl space under the house. So if it was daytime, you opened it, you saw the air handler, stuff like that, and you could see the backyard underneath the house. It was all day. So you could literally, if you had the guts, you could go under the backyard, get near the lattice work, get under it, there was space, and come crawling through and walk right in the house. Because this was one of those balsa wood thin super doors with no lock on it. I don't know why we never put a lock on it.
Cool. Times were tough back then.
Yeah, we were renting, and it wasn't our house. So, we're like,
true.
this is just the way it is. You Illinois people are weird. But that
You're
door,
real trusting people.
that door, like, sometimes it would not close all the way. Like, you had to like click and make sure it was good. And even then, if you pulled on it and then just give it a light tap, it would pop open, right? And then you have complete access to under the house. And this house gave you Amityville horror type vibes. It was truly built in like the 40s, I think. Had been redone, but it was old and crickety. Like anytime people walked on any of the levels, you heard it. And if you left it open a little bit, there was a little bit of a gap underneath the door as well. Again, I wish I had thought about it. I would put sweeps and stuff like that, but we would get these weird little cricket/flying creatures that, so if you hadn't been down in the basement for a while or not paying attention, all of a sudden one would go flying by and you'd be like, "Oh no, is the door open?" And one time the door had come open. We don't know how. And like several of these creatures, because they're in a crawl space under the house, are in there. And our oldest was, very freaked out. Like, how did that door get open? What's been in the house?
You know what that creature was?
So that's not so much paranormal activity as it is the reality of something could come right in the house. So that would freak the shit out of us quite a bit.
You count your Frogger as a dependent
on your taxes?
No.
I think it's a mouth to feed because the food keeps disappearing.
Yeah. But that's one of the things that just freaked you out. Just like movies do. It freaked me out.
Yeah. So speaking of movies, right? How about we'll call this movies that make you say nope, 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 nope.
Fuck that.
Nope. Not watching that. Nope. Nope. When we're talking about scary movies, I'm talking about the difference between what's a scary movie and what's a suspenseful scary movie. There's a difference. I think a scary movie that plays with your mind, and when you wake up and it crosses your mind, you're like, not that movie. Now I'm gonna be thinking about it. It sticks with you. Saw and movies like that, they can be suspenseful and maybe stick with you a little bit, but it's more of it's a suspense thriller of somebody got to escape from something and dun 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 and the music. These other ones like The Conjuring, those are ones that I did not like. I like scary movies way more than I used to, but The Conjuring, I had heard this was to the next level scary. One time we decided we were going to watch this movie. We were living in Florida at the time, and like, okay, let's watch it. I hear great things as far as scariness goes. Let's see if we can get through it. We put it on and we started watching it, and it lived up to the hype. We decided to have some beverages so we could have that liquid courage to watch it. Of course, it was late, so we're like, all right, we're gonna watch it. And then, but it was so intense. We had to pause the movie and be like, "Oh, I'm take a break. Hey, you need another, beverage and stuff. I'm gonna go to the kitchen, bathroom break. Maybe just turn the lights up a little bit, And no shit, that movie was so scary. It still haunts me in many different ways because a lot of that, and those that have watched it, if you haven't, go ahead, look it up. But it's based on true tapes and stories of a couple that investigated these paranormal situations. They performed exorcisms, and there's not a lot of stuff out there that completely says, they're, it's hogwash garbage. These people are, it's like legit. And so that's what makes it even more, of a mind fuck because it's scary, because it's real. These are real places. These are real things. Annabelle, those kind of things, those are all part of the Conjuring universe and world. These aren't made up things. They don't look like the movie type stuff, but the situations are real. And so I would think about that movie all the time and how it was like they have one spot where they're playing hide and seek in this god awful horror house, and
How would they do that?
They play hide and seek. They do a really great job of building up the suspense in this, and they go play hide and seek. And it was a game they played at another place, but now they're bringing it to the new place, and it's this family. They're trying to adjust. Hey, let's play that game we used to play. I can't remember what it was called, but they would call out something, and then if you weren't finding them, it was basically a way to give a hint that they would clap. So you'd be like, oh, I'm, hot or cold. I'm not in the right direction. So you go towards that clap, and they try to, hide again and stuff. So there was one part in that movie where she's not finding him or whatever, and they clap, haha, da da da, and they play the game. But then there's another part of the movie where they're not playing the game, but she's looking around. She's trying to find something, and she's looking towards like an armoire or something, and all of a sudden this scary entity, demon child.
Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
Oh my god, just the situation. Yep, got chills again just now. But it's like they build it up and it makes you so scary that those thinking about those kind of things. And then there's this other part of the movie that's called the Devil's Hour, what they referred to, the Devil's Hour. So that's 3 a.m.
Explain it to me so I can get scared about it.
Why is
Okay,
that
so
the Devil's Hour?
The Devil's Hour takes place about 3 a.m. Specifically in this movie, The Conjuring, 3:07 a.m. And the Devil's Hour is not just something that's made up in this movie. It's something that's known as the witching hour, when it's the most likely time for the demons and scary shit to happen.
So I'm definitely going to be waking up at 3:07.
Oh my gosh, I
should call
swear
each other.
to you, it seemed like for months at a time, all the time, I would wake up and, you'd have to go to the bathroom or something, and you just wake up, you'd be hoping that you have more time to sleep, or I'd roll over and look at the clock, and sure enough, I swear, it would be 3:07 or 3:05 all the time. Like, why is this happening? And I'd be like, I don't want to go take a piss right now.
I'm going to call you at 3:07.
I'm going to call you at 3:07 and just clap into the phone.
What are these Devil's Hours? Do they recognize different time zones? How does this work?
Good question.
Dang, it's daylight savings time. I went too early.
I think it's the time zone you're in. Yeah, so I think they're on daylight savings time. They go forward and backwards too. So yeah, but there's legislation to try to switch to Devil's Hour so they can get more sleep during the ski season.
Farmers don't like that Devil's Hour.
But man, but still that happens every now and then. And if I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning or close to 3:07, I'm just like, come on. And this has been years, So there's a whole Conjuring universe. I think The Nun, Conjuring, all of those come from that. Annabelle.
I wake up around 3 o'clock all the time. I've been pissing with the devil for years now.
I wasn't even holding it. Somebody's been holding it for me.
Have you ever had a rough night and you're shitting with the devil? Oh, yeah. One time I was puking with the devil.
Get me another roll of toilet paper. Thanks.
Just me and the devil and the frog.
God damn it. Where's the toilet paper?
Yeah, Frogger used the rest of that two-ply.
Yeah, the worst part is when the Frogger forgets to flush. You're like, whoa, I didn't do that.
We got to put the toilet paper on in here. pH floaters in here. The hell?
The Frogger just revenge shit in my sink.
Took an upper decker.
Yeah, that's for eating out all week and not bringing any leftovers, you sons of bitches.
Damn it. I've been eating out the trash out back.
So do you guys have any movies that you think of that are ones that have messed with you over the years?
Well, I've never seen The Conjuring because of your great explanation of it. I'm like, yeah, that's not for me. I'm out.
Homework
nope.
now.
Yeah, I don't want to put myself through that. No, you explaining it is more than enough for me. One movie I will say, though, it was kind of a new wave, The Grudge. And that came out, it was about, I think it was based in Japan, and I think they had some, myths and things, so they made it into a movie, and it was about creepy time, a girl living in an attic or whatnot. And I tried watching that in the middle of the day once, where she's all going up there and you see the girl with the backward arms and the long hair in front of her face come down
like the white of her eyes and everything.
I'm like, oh, nah, turned it off right there.
What's the point in this movie?
Yeah, but I was like, what am I doing? I want to go to sleep, the next week.
I think The Ring was right around that same time too, because it was a different spin on it, but it was similar. If you watch the video within 6 days, you're gonna die. Or something. But it was like the girl comes out of the TV screen stuff, long hair and creepy. Like that was a thing for a while. Creepy girls with long hair, black and white looking.
I much rather watch the make fun of scary movies, the Scary Movies franchise.
I have a creepy one that was from back when we were kids. It was like before The Ring and all of this came out, but it was a lady. And it was creepy. Tell me if you can guess it.
Christmas in Tennessee.
Sorry,
shit I ever saw.
Sorry, again, you guys saw it and told me about it, and I didn't want to watch it. Why do you guys keep watching it?
If you made it this far, go ahead, leave a comment. Tell you all about it.
I got one from back when we were kids, back before The Ring and Conjuring came out. It was Stephen King, Pet Cemetery.
Oh,
yeah. So remember the girl keeps having flashbacks of her when she was little, but she had an older sister who had whatever that, spine was
scoliosis,
scoliosis, something like that. And she was like just like abandoned up in like the attic like room, and she would have to go up there and have to help take care of her. And so it's this part where she's thinking back at when she's a little girl and she's looking through the keyhole, and her sister, she sees her sister on the bed like screaming for her, and
that was Pet Cemetery.
Huh?
That was Pet Cemetery. I know what you're saying now. I remember us scaring the shit out of each other with it.
Because there's a part where she's rolling around and all of a sudden like she's like, I see you, and she's looking at her, and then also she comes like running up to the keyhole, and like, oh my god, that would freak me out. God,
I've never seen it.
Scared me.
Do you remember the name?
I think her name was Zelda.
Yeah. I remember we were in the backyard and we'd be playing sports and then it got dark. And then you'd go get the ball on the bushes and stuff and like, Zelda's gonna get you!
Zelda!
Oh, that's what you guys were talking
Take
about.
off running.
Well, that was Denise's fault. She showed us that shit.
Oh my god.
But I never saw the movie. Slept well.
So what's another movie that you can think of that was kind of the scary that stays with you? I've got one if you don't.
Sure.
So the Blair Witch Project came out in 1999, made for $68,000 and made $248 million worldwide. So this was a product of what they had to work with. They didn't have a lot of money to make this, but it started the genre of like the found footage movies. So you could make a found footage movie with not the greatest of equipment in the world because it was supposed to be realistic, which really ended up adding to the authenticity of the scary shit of the movie.
Right.
So in this movie, for those that don't know it, it's found footage from these hikers that go off in the woods. They're going to go research the Blair Witch way up there in Northeast. And they go out there in the woods and they find this footage later and then they splice it together for this documentary and stuff. But it shows the hikers and they just kind of banter back and forth to each other. And it's just like a first person type stuff and someone's recording it. They're all freaked out. People are kind of getting possessed a little bit. It shows like somebody's got the camera and you see a figure or something. And then there's a guy, I remember he's just standing in the corner shaking, and all of a sudden it goes off. And it just kind of, the budget's not huge. There's no CGI stuff back then either. It's just the concept of how it scares you, and something else or somebody else is there, and you're kind of like, some people you either love it or you hate it kind of thing, because some people are like, what the hell? I don't get it. What was so scary about it? And you never actually got to see anything because $68,000 for a whole movie, you couldn't afford to make something to be seen. And if they did, it probably looked like shit. So
I think the big question about it, a lot of folks were like, I think it was real footage. That was real footage. Yeah, that was
yeah.
that was real. No one just
thought it
into
was
like that. Like you said, found footage, and people really eat that shit up for a while.
It made it go viral before things went viral, just because of the word of mouth and that approach. And then similar to that was Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
That was when, you could start to do some CGI type effects, but they still used the approach of security footage. So it was cameras that are in people's houses, and while you're sleeping, and all of a sudden the sheets move off of you. So it kind of goes with what Nicholas says. It feels like somebody's there with you, hovering over you. So this takes it a step further to see things happening on that footage from within the house. And there's other things. So it could be a low budget, but still the concept of it scares the ever living shit out of you. And they did 3 or 4 of those Paranormal Activities.
At least, yeah.
And they even made a Blair Witch. It's called Blair Witch sequel in 2016, and I'm just too little too late with that one. But those are still movies that really just kind of mess with you, because you think about them and they put yourself in situations where you're like, that's real, I could see me in that situation. So now camping's not the same, just being in your house not the same.
I think another movie that freaks you out, that was kind of new at the time as far as the jump scares that were, people would hope it's kind of real, because I think they like to, remember when the movie Signs came out? Right.
Oh yeah, Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix.
And anybody that has seen that will probably quickly, their mind will go to the moment I'm talking about. So as you're watching this movie, it's talking about a possible alien invasion, this mysterious things happening, crop circles. Mel Gibson's going through some things. He's battling with himself and God, the loss of his wife, all this stuff, battling within. And you're like, are we going to see what this mysterious thing is that may be coming to Earth and that people are starting to talk about? So then a news flash comes on, and they're like, we just got this footage in, and it's kind of zoomed in on the news, whatever, and it shows like a footage of outside a door or a shop or something.
It's a birthday party going on. There's a kid's birthday party going on, and they're like,
oh, birthday, no. And they're all zooming in, and of course, like, we've got this footage, and so as a viewer for the movie or whatever, you're just like looking at it, and then all of a sudden this alien goes walking by, you're like, oh, they showed it.
And then music.
Move, children. Vámonos.
Está atrás de garage. Está atrás de ahí. Es behind.
Oh!
Like, they're real, Yeah, it's a movie and everything, but in that moment, you're like, we've just seen aliens. It's happening. And so the rest of the movie, it obviously evolves into the showing a lot more, but, the under the door scene where he's showing the reflection with the knife, and there's some really good jump scares, but those moments where you're like, it's just a mystery. It's a mystery, and then it shows it. Those are the moments that really scare you and get your mind going when you're in those dark rooms. Even now, you're like, oh, this is gonna be the moment where I find out it's real.
I don't like being in here right now.
Yeah.
That movie did a real good job, I think, of the combination of the two.
It was M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
But it was scary and suspenseful, and then it came to an epic conclusion type stuff, but it also messed with your mind. So while you're like, this isn't real, but they put it in a very real context, you're like, maybe. I mean, they made it in like a believable type situation where it just creates that environment that you just could see yourself being scared and protecting your family.
Remember, crop circles were a thing. They were being done by whoever, and people couldn't explain that. This movie gave it a great explanation.
Yeah. We still don't know for sure. Last little topic we'll touch on real quick on what you guys might think about the reality shows that cover ghost and supernatural stuff. There's so many different ones out there. I think you got Skywalker Ranch and these paranormal shows. What do you guys? I have my feelings, but what do you guys think about those?
Yeah,
Christopher, what do you
I
think?
don't think I've got into them a lot, but I do see the ghost hunters, and I think even some people have died on them. Maybe there's a health issue and stuff like that, but they definitely try to use that occurring footage, and they just happen to have a camera rolling. Yeah, I'm sure produced environments that equal craziness happening. I don't know how much I believe them, but I sure as hell wouldn't do it.
Like, this guy got killed by a ghost? Nah, cholesterol. Oh shit, the silent killer.
I've always felt like that shit was bogus. It's not real. But after hearing your stories, Brett, maybe that shit does have a little bit of
On the next
validity to it.
episode of Ghost Hunters, we're live with the
After-
welcome distraction. Yeah. So I agree with that. I've never, if there's this stuff out there, it hasn't been captured well, not good enough. Every time I've seen any of those, if I catch myself somehow watching one for a minute or two, or the wife's watching one, I want to see some cool shit. I want to, but it's always like we've got the multimeter, the Ghostbusters thing now. It's gonna, oh my gosh, there is definitely something definitely happened here.
I got
Yeah,
my
the
two
presence
legs
here.
together, and they're pointing.
Yeah, there's a heat indication. Maybe it's because Bob was just jerking off in the corner over there and got all hot.
Yeah, we got friction. We got a ghost. God, I'll step in the ghost.
He's saying a ghost.
Oh, must have been a Slimer. Left some residue behind.
That's the ghost cue. We found one.
Send that into the lab. He didn't say he saw a ghost, but he kept yelling, "Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!"
Yeah, no. We didn't
Someone
find a
was
Like,
ghost.
I don't know what happened, but I'm pregnant.
Yeah, we didn't find a ghost, but
Ghost baby.
his DNA just popped for 5 murders in the local town next door.
Hey, yeah, I'm not a fan of those things, those shows. There's never been something that's been captured. It's always one of those things that leads to a whole buildup that's actually nothing. Some of these people put a lot of credit into them and think it's something legit, but if it's out there, please, share. And I'll
Here
give it
we
a go.
are,
But I
Still
doubt
scaring the
you'll-
shit out of ourselves, knowing this stuff's not real.
It's not real, but I'm gonna be scared as soon as we get off this podcast because I gotta walk to my house.
We'll see you and the Frogger at 307.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yes, we will.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking around with us and the Welcome Distraction with the Kemp brothers. This has been a supernatural experience with us. Hope it was just as good for you. And yeah, like Nicholas said, if you got nothing going on and you wake up at 3:06, 3:07 in the morning, hey, put on the podcast. But until next time, I'm Brett.
I'm Chris.
And Nick.
And for the Kemp brothers, we'll see you next time on the Welcome Distraction. Later.